together. Kurt Vanderhoof and Craig Wells on guitar, Duke Aronson on bass, the fucking vicious vocals of David Wayne, and the fucking powerhouse drumming of Kirk Arrington, who is by far one of the most underrated drummers ever. I mean, their debut album perfectly highlights his drumming ability, and my god, he was a fucking beast. I mean, they all were. I mean, they were literally one of the best fucking heavy metal bands to come out from the early 80s. And with the exception of a couple of breaks, these guys have pretty much been steamrolling through the past 40 years. I mean, there's been a lot of different lineups. This band definitely suffers from the revolving door treatment that most bands do, but they're still fucking rabid. They're still fucking amazing. I mean, even their last album that they put out 2 years ago was actually fucking amazing. A 5-star band all the way. And I definitely want to give Jeff Howe some credit too. He took over vocals in '89 and stayed with the band throughout most of the '90s. He did a really good fucking job. I mean, that band did not lose anything when he stepped up, and he is actually now back singing with the band, which is very good. Because it'd be either him or David Wayne. Now let's get down to their first two albums, Gods of Wrath and The Dark, which were released in '84 and '86 respectively. Two very great powerhouse fucking records. Heavy, thrashy, and just all out fucking awesome as hell. Alright, so let's talk about their first two albums. I mean, they both had, they were both packed with great fucking songs. Let's talk about their Gods of Wrath album first. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Every song was as good as the next. Fucking epic. This album was fucking epically awesome. Alright, so, Gods of Wrath and Metal Church were two epic fucking songs. Awesome as hell. You had the brutally heavy Beyond the Black. You also had the thrashy instrumental Merciless Onslaught, which was fucking amazing too. And then, to add to that, you had Hitman, which was a great fucking classic sounding heavy metal song. And another highlight of that record? Highway Star from Deep Purple. There was a fucking vicious cover of that song on there. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. This fucking album alone cemented them as like one of the top fucking greatest fucking sounding bands ever. I mean, who the hell can debate that? They are. They're just one of the fucking best ever. No debates needed. Now, let's talk about their 1986 sophomore album, The Dark. I mean, Jesus Christ, they didn't miss a beat at all. They were every bit as good in this album as they were in the last. They didn't lose a fucking step. Fucking epic piece of metal work. I mean, dude, come on. You had Line of Death, Method to Your Madness. There was Start the Fire, The Dark. I mean, The Dark was a epic 3-minute horror film set to fucking music. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Ton of Bricks. I mean, Ton of Bricks was the first song that I ever listened to from this band. It's the song that actually got me listening to them in the first place. You had Over My Dead Body. This fucking album is fucking amazing. Straight through. Beginning to end. And you know what? I'll tell you this right now. Their mega kickassery blew up onto the next album too. I mean, there was an entirely different singer, Mike Howe, and there was a new guitar player in the mix. Didn't lose a fucking inch of power. And you know, one day I'm gonna actually cover that era of the band. Just not right now. I have to move on to the next topic. So, in closing, if you have never heard this band, definitely listen to them on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. I mean, I'm saying right now, this fucking band is epic, and they are completely fucking underrated. Check them out. Alright, so this is for all the masochists out there. You're not gonna want to miss this next subject. Season 2 of Holy Moly. Yeah. The TV show so goddamn epic, they had to do a second season. Golf meets Wipeout. Coming up. Right now. Alright, so when I heard that this crankshaft of a show was coming back, I just knew I was gonna have to cover it. Ugh. Holy Moly 2. So, right now I'm going from a topic that I actually like talking about to a subject that makes me want to slam my nuts in a fucking door. The TV show Holy Moly is the equivalent of a wet fart. I mean, Holy Moly is the equivalent of a wet fart. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. The announcer, the comedian announcer guy, he's not funny. He uses this safe, geeky humor. And, like I said before, the show is basically friggin' miniature golf meets Wipeout. I think that's a fair assessment. It's miniature golf meets obstacle course. It's just dumb. I sat through maybe 2-3 episodes of this last season, and dude, I was done. I mean, the fucking show is mindless. It is. It's seriously mindless entertainment. But then again, I'm not surprised that it got picked up, because that seems to be a fucking trend these days. Pick the stupidest fucking shows to give them more seasons and fucking cancel the good shows, right? Well, then again, seeing that this show's on fucking ABC, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's not like that's a great fucking network anyways. It's one of the fucking worst. I mean, look, let me just say this right now. I do have a big threshold for watching shitty stuff. And I love watching shitty stuff. But this is just beyond shit. Like I said, it's fucking mindless. Dumb. So let's go. Holy moly, season 2. Doubly stupid this time around. Alright, so let's just move on to subject number 3. I feel like my brain is going to be leaking out of my nose and ears very soon if I keep talking about this. This is going to be actually a last second add-on subject. It's a movie called State Park, which was made back in 1988. And boy, this makes Holy Moly seem fucking great. Right now, at this current time, it has a 4.8 on IMDb, and I'm saying that that's a very, very generous score, considering the fact that this movie really doesn't offer anything at all. Now, this little low-budget flick starts off with an obvious man in a bear costume who is escaping from some kind of facility, and ends up back in some cave hideout. Now, I didn't know whether or not the filmmakers intended this guy to actually be a bear, or if it was just a guy dressed up as a bear. I mean, considering the fact that this is a very low-budget flick. And well, in the end, it actually did turn out to be a guy in a costume. Now, this supposed comedy centers around a camping facility and includes an assorted group of people looking for summer kicks and flings and other activities which really lead to absolutely nothing. That's at all entertaining. Yeah, this is a very boring, bland, stupid film. to say the very least. This all leads up to a fucking race in which all the characters participate in the hopes of getting $5,000 somehow. By this point I had lost so much interest that I didn't even know who donated the $5,000 for the contest. They even tried adding some cheap drama into the mix by adding a land baron who was dumping like some kind of waste. And to tell you the truth, this movie was so bleh and ineptly made that it's like, who really gives a shit at this point? I mean, the jokes, nothing resembled a joke despite the fact that this was a comedy. I mean, nothing. There was no resemblance of a joke anywhere. It was just stupid all the way around. Pathetic, actually. I mean, if you want to watch a good Canadian comedy, watch something like Porky's or Screwballs. Those are two way fucking better films. State Park was a fucking dud. It's bottom of the barrel, and you know what? I'm not surprised that it's free to stream. Actually, I'm surprised that it's being streamed at all. Not a good movie, and with that said, this episode is done. Gods of Wrath Podcast. You go up against the Executioner, you might come up a head short. And as always, if you see the flames, reach out and feel the fucking fire. Alright, so after listening to a couple of minutes of our previous podcast, it turns out that our podcast is the equivalent to a hooker's dirty, wart-infested pole hole. So, going forward, we're going to try a little bit better. We're going to work things around, tweak things, and if things go according to plan, like I said before, we'll end up buying some new equipment. So, since this is a test podcast for technical purposes, I'll end it right here. Until next time, see you later. We'll be back with new subjects, which will include cinema's most favorite vigilante character. This has been a Gods of Wrath podcast. This is the Gods of Wrath podcast. If you go up against the Executioner, you might come up a head short. And remember, if you see the flames, reach out and feel the fucking fire. This is podcast episode 4, and tonight we will be talking about cinema's most notorious vigilante, Paul motherfucking Kersey of the Death Wish series. So this king of kick-assery character bounced back and forth between New York and LA 5 different times between 5 different movies, leaving nothing but pain, destruction, and death in his wake, while ironically having a cloud of despair hanging above him. But hell, you know what? He got the fucking job done. Hell fucking yeah. Kersey never came across a punk, thug, asshole he didn't completely fucking annihilate. But on the same token, he never had a wife, a girlfriend, a kid, a good friend who didn't end up getting killed by a fucking punk, asshole thug. And so the fucking cycle of death just continued on and on and on and on. a very entertaining fashion, so to speak. And as far as I'm concerned, Charles Bronson is the only guy who could fill those shoes. Sorry, Bruce Willis. As good as he might have been, Charles Bronson is the fucking king, and he always will be. No fucking question about it. I mean, Jesus Christ, he played it 5 different times in 20 fucking years. He made the fucking character absolutely goddamn legendary. And there's no fucking question about it. He is Paul Kersey. Bronson played this character tough, ballsy, and smart. And he was very fucking believable in playing this character. The movies were fucking grimy. And every time he was on screen, you knew shit was gonna get done. And in a very fucking kick-ass fashion. And going 5 movies deep, they were still all fucking entertaining as hell, too. And a fucking testament to how great fucking Bronson was as Kersey, he was 70 fucking 3 years old when he made Death Wish 5. 73, and he was still fucking rocking it out of the park. Being a complete fucking beast. Paul fucking Kersey is a fucking legend. And there's no debating that. He fucking kicked ass in 5 fucking films. They were all entertaining as hell. One more entertaining than the next. I mean, even part 5 was a fucking great ass film. And by then, franchises usually kinda, lose their steam a little bit. Not Death Wish. However,